London's public transport system is one of the largest and busiest in the world.
We're now in the heart of the peak, and it's absolute chaos.
11 million people travel on board a tube or bus in the capital every single day. But not all of them are paying for it.
I don't think so, fella.
Fare evaders swindle a network out of £116 million a year.
You're getting police because of a bar? It's bullshit.
If I don't obtain a name and address, I will arrest you.
That's money that could be spent on a better service for passengers like you and me.
I pay my way. Prices increase every year to cover the loss. That really angers me.
Filmed over one hot summer.
All right, let's run this thing then.
Hello, excuse me, I'm talking to you.
We've gone behind the scenes with Transport for London's investigations unit.
That's the gentleman we're looking for. We've got evidence to prove that you're lying.
We're with inspectors working undercover on the tube to track down some of the 70,000 daily fare dodgers.
Police!
Brother, I'll smash the camera.
Another satisfied customer.
And with bus enforcement officers fighting a backlash from the public.
You are a nasty little man.
This beer drama.
Jeez.
These are the stories of the men and women fighting London's fare-dodging war.
Let's cut to the chase. Haven't paid the full thing.
Listen to me, listen to me.
Bruv, that was some different gravy. It's not gone through, as you just saw.
Have you got a ticket for your journey? Have you got a ticket?
You get it? That's what I'm trying to get her to do, but she's taking long.
Coming up,
Excuse me?
undercover tube investigators challenged.
Keep your eyes peeled, please.
And bus enforcement officers
listen, don't play with me. Give me my card.
face angry passengers.
Right, hand that over now.
I actually need to arrest you.
The amazed
So I look like a criminal. See a ticket, please.
and the argumentative.
I did touch her.
Madam, it didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Madam, it didn't.
I'm walking away, and these guys can deal with you.
1 billion journeys a year on London's tubes and buses are paid for using contactless payment cards. More ways to pay makes travel through the capital much easier, but for some, it makes the temptation to fare evade much greater too. More than 2 million bank cards have been blacklisted by Transport for London after being repeatedly used without funds available. The intelligence system at TfL's control centre logs all declined bank card usage, and investigators are then able to look into specific cases.
This person's contactless bank card may have been declined by the bank or by TfL and may carry on using that on a barrier, effectively to fake as if they are paying the fare. However, that will leave a footprint and that can be detected later on.
Tapping a declined card will alert the system, but the journey goes unpaid. Part of an undercover squad working on the tube, Dan has been tasked with tracking down the suspected bank card blagger.
We're always putting pieces of the puzzle together. We need to establish where the person's travelling from, where they're travelling to. Got a detailed report, and it shows us where they've entered at King's Cross. We've got a few exits at Ockenden Station. We've got a map, and it shows King's Cross just here. And then we've got Ockenden, which is out here. And I believe that's going to be Zone 7. It takes us into Essex, and potentially 96 journeys at the moment this person's avoided.
That would amount to nearly £1,000 of fares lost in just 3 months.
With all these digital footprints, these are new windows of opportunity that our inspectors can investigate. The challenge is to locate them and identify the person, actually catch them in the act.
So now that we understand the journey pattern of this passenger, it will be King's Cross Station that we stop them at, so we need to go to King's Cross now.
Over 250,000 people visit the station every day, so identifying one specific person won't be easy.
Just to give you an idea of the size of this station, there's 900 cameras at least.
Dan will use CCTV records to try and ID his target.
So we're going to go up to the gate line here now because this is where the person exits.
The card data has helped pinpoint the gate the suspect uses.
This is our gate that we're looking for, gate 21. And we just need to work out which cameras are going to be picking up people coming through, possibly over here. That one picks up nicely the gate behind me where they come through, and we can even see a little preview up there on the monitor, so we know that camera's going to pick up the person. We can head back now to the CCTV room and we'll hopefully find who we're looking for. So this is the camera that we saw the monitor of at the gate line. They'll use this gate here because it's a larger gate, because people for disability access and also with luggage, it stays open for a longer period of time to allow them to get through. Fare evaders use that to their advantage by simulating touching in, and the gate stays open, so it looks like to anyone else around them that they have a valid ticket. So we're going to look here at this gate and see who comes through. That's a family, as they've got all their tickets with them. Wouldn't have suspected it was them at all. So what we also look at is potentially people that are hanging around here. It could be obviously they're waiting for someone, but we do get evaders that wait for the ideal opportunity. So we've got someone here just walking up now, so there we go. It's potentially this guy here. So we'll just start that clip again. So at the moment you can see up here he's not there. So we'll just look and see what direction he can. There he is there. You can see he's actually looking over, and then there we go. So he's stopped. Now he's come back. So he knows what he's doing. He's very calculated. Looking at the report as well, he's very consistent with what he does. So he is waiting around. This is what we see quite often. So there we go. He's found someone now that he's going to walk behind, and that's when we saw him. He's got a bag that he wears across his body. What we'll do is we'll check another day just to make sure. Yep, there we go. So there you go. He's come through again here. Got his bag across his shoulder. That is a gentleman. So we've got the images. We know who he is. We'll prepare the case file now, and then we'll come back on Friday. Hopefully he's travelling, and we'll pick him up and interview him.
Inspector.
Coming up.
Hello, police! Police!
Confrontation on the gate line.
What are you doing? You pulled me over!
And an enforcement officer
Don't be silly.
is pushed to the limit.
I'll tell you what, I'm not bothering with you. You can deal with him, yeah?
At King's Cross Station,
For 13 minutes.
undercover investigators on the tube, Dan and Dan, are preparing to stop a suspected fare evader.
Prepared the case file for this gentleman that's using a bank card but not touching in and out correctly and not even paying his fare. So we've got about £800 worth of fares that he's avoided. King's Cross is very busy during the peak, but thankfully at the moment, because it's quite quiet, it's 6:23, there won't be that many people coming out. There we go, it's the train now. Let's see if he's caught it. He might have been a bit late and got the next one, don't know. Not this one. There's one in. Could be it. Yeah. Hi, sir. Ticket inspector. Just check your ticket, please. We've been doing an investigation, okay? So we need to speak to you. Can I see your ticket you're using, please? Your bank card. Thank you.
You're on your driver's license with you?
Something with your address or anything?
With your address on?
I don't have no address. I can give you my address.
Okay. What other ID have you got with you? You've got no other ID with you?
If you've got something in there that's got your name and address on, yeah, show it to us, because it's just going to make it longer for you. Fella, are you listening?
I am.
Yeah, well, have a look in your wallet and see if you've got something to show us, because if you have, then we don't have to bring up and make a load of checks.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my address. You don't need to have my details on you.
We need to confirm your details, Dave.
That's right, yeah.
What station did you start your journey from today, please?
Barking.
Barking? Or is it Ockenden?
Barking.
Barking today, yeah? Okay. So why don't you have a valid contactless card today for your journey?
I've got it, but I don't know, maybe it's not working or something like that.
Did you touch that contactless bank card in to start your journey?
You tell me you should contact my user or something.
How long have you been travelling up to King's Cross?
A month, I think.
The evidence Dan's collected shows 3 months of fare avoidance.
We've got a system called ITAP. This report here details all of the journeys that you haven't paid for, okay? All of these. Do you agree that's true?
Maybe so.
Okay. We've calculated that there's 98 journeys. This is how much we've calculated. From June, yeah. TfL may wish for you to pay that money back. So,
Yeah, I can do that.
you'd be happy to do
I'll
that?
be happy, but it's gonna be like very difficult.
I know it might be a little bit of a shock because obviously people don't realise how much fares are, all right? There's your card there. Please, sort your card out on that one. If not, get a new one. Go for it. All right. It went well in the end. He was a little bit hostile to begin with. However, he uses the gates incorrectly. He goes through behind fare-paying passengers. So we do have to deal with these people.
The case will now go to prosecutors, who may seek to recover the money and costs through the courts. The over 60s, disabled and unemployed passengers are amongst those that benefit from free or discounted travel in London. Another fare-dodging ruse on Transport for London's radar is people using these valuable travel cards when they are not eligible to do so.
They might come from Barking.
Enforcement officers Peter and Karen are taking part in a sting operation with the British Transport Police.
Inspector.
They're looking for any passengers fraudulently using a discounted travel pass. Over 40,000 people use this station every day, so they use technology to identify anyone with one of these passes.
We don't actually select you, the gates do. This little box here is called a station control unit. You can actually select it for certain tickets that need verification. See the light that comes on there? OK. So if you've got freedom passes, child tickets, student cards, anything that has a photograph or you need documentation in order to use it, the lights will come on.
Hello, police! Police! What are you doing? You pulled me over!
Come back in, I don't know what was going on there.
Excuse me, I said I'm revenue. Can I see your ticket, please? You barged past my arm and nearly had me down. No. Well, how comes I nearly fell down the stairs then when you took my arm with you?
You dragged her with you.
Excuse me?
You literally just dragged her with you.
No, how can I drag somebody that's in front of
Come in,
me?
sir, we'll sort this out.
I'd like to see the Oyster card that you used.
Come on, don't panic, there's nothing wrong.
Just
All right?
I stopped her because she came through and the light illuminated. I asked to see her pass, and then she said no and made off. She took me down the stairs with her because I still had my arm out. I'd like to see the pass that she used to come out. That's not the one. It was an Oyster of some description. It was not a bank card.
You can check my pockets if you want.
If the lady doesn't have it about her person anymore, there were other people around when we all went down the stairs.
Right. On this one, was it? It was on the floor just by the stairs.
The card he has found gives free travel to anyone over 60 years old.
I think you struck the wrong person.
Excuse me.
You can see.
I know what I saw.
Just go straight with the truth. It's not the end of the world, but it needs to be the truth, okay?
This is my card.
That's your card,
use this.
okay?
The young woman maintains she used her bank card to exit the station.
If you're not going to deal with me, then you will have to deal with the officer. But I know that you had an Oyster.
That's not mine.
It's got exactly the same surname.
Okay. And there's a million of people with that surname.
Okay, that's fine. This can be investigated. If that's what you want, we'll end up investigating it. Okay, no problem.
Checking tickets or passes, please.
By not tapping on or travelling with a pass they're not supposed to be using,
Hang on a minute.
fare evaders swindle London's buses out of £35 million a year.
At the moment, it says...
Is that my problem?
And actually...
Is that my problem?
Just hold the pass for me, Inspect.
Listen, this is my card. I put it here. Is not for come.
Yes, sir. If you...
Yeah, listen, don't play with me. Give me my card in my hand. 1 minute.
Last chapter on yesterday, so snatch the card.
That's your responsibility to do so once you board the bus, sir.
The penalty fare is unfair, you know?
Enforcement officers use experience and intuition to weed out dishonest passengers.
Because she's using your discount, I also need your details. So your details, your full name, your address, and date of birth, yeah?
You listen me. I'm not using her discount.
Morning, folks. Tickets and passes, please.
With millions of pounds lost to misuse of travel passes, Will and Moore must make sure they are being used correctly.
Thank you. See the picture, please.
60.
Picture.
Picture?
Yeah.
In the shop and it's in the back. Yeah.
Your pass isn't valid without your picture.
Come with me in the supermarket.
Unfortunately, I can't come with you.
Okay.
So, because you don't have your picture
I have because in the...
with you, because you don't have your picture with you, I'm going to have to issue you a penalty fare, okay?
Yeah. £40?
Yes.
Brother, why?
Because you're not carrying your picture.
Why? This here in all thought get in the supermarket.
Without the picture, your pass is not valid.
With improper use of travel cards a big problem across the network, there's zero tolerance for not following the rules.
If it wasn't his pass, if he was using somebody else's pass, it'd be a slightly more serious offence. But you make a judgment call based on whether you believe that pass is there. So where was this? Oh, you had, right, if you want. No, it's fine. I believe that it's your pass. Yeah, I can see that it's you. That's great. But when I came to check your pass, you didn't have it. Where did you get that from? So his friend got off at the previous stop, ran to the store, picked up the wallet, got back on the bus, showed up. Okay, that makes sense.
Back in East Ham,
This is so ridiculous.
Karen is tied up with a passenger who insists she hasn't been using a free travel pass for the over 60s.
If you're failing to collaborate, I'll just arrest you. And then we go into a police station and deal with it that way. But we don't want a police station, do we? If I can...
We're happy to comply. Like, we'll follow your rules.
So that's all I need.
Let's just get to the crux of this. Is that the card that you used, and is it somebody that you know? Please tell me yes or no.
No.
Is it the card that you used? You're going to go down that line, yeah? Okay, then right. If you continue to say, no you didn't, I would have to say it's not a civil matter with London Underground anymore. I have to pass it on to the police officer.
And if I investigate and that proves to be correct, then unfortunately you will have to be charged with fraud. You're using somebody else's card.
Right, it's the last time I'm going to tell you this, okay? This is taking too long now. So I need you to tell me straight, in front of the police officer, whose is this?
That's my dad.
Thank you. And did you use it from Kentish Town to East Ham? Thank you very much.
I'm just going to take the details.
That took a long time, didn't it? She was using her dad's 60-plus Oyster card, which gives free travel on London Underground and the buses. And she did say that the reason she'd done that was because she didn't have any money to travel today.
Not all fare dodgers are scamming the system with other people's passes. Investigators use technology to identify suspicious behaviour on passengers' standard Oyster cards too. Undercover Inspector James has been handed the latest case.
We've got given an Oyster card number from ITAP. It seems as though the person whose card it is travelling from South London area up to the North Metropolitan area towards like Norfolk Park. Never really touching their card in South London. So basically, in effect, they're just avoiding Zone 1 payment all the time. They're probably saving about £25 a week by not paying for Zone 1.
It is common that people have found or are finding ways not to pay the full fare by not validating at one end or the other. The cheat is that person is attempting to hoodwink the system into believing they've made a shorter journey than they've actually made, so thus paying a lot less.
Tim's department uses a complex computer program to spot this kind of cheating.
The algorithms are set to spot that, so those that have avoided the most will come to the top of the list, and that will obviously highlight those that need to be investigated further.
It's been going on for a while as well, so it builds up quite quick, the amount of money. Now I need to go up to Norfolk Park, have a look through their CCTV and try and identify the individual. You want to be 100% sure that you've got the right person. It can be like a needle in a haystack, but the CCTV all over the system, everywhere, even on the trains. If you're using the system, there's always someone watching. That's the thing. The individual I can see from printout, sometimes working night shifts, sometimes coming back through here at 9 o'clock in the evening and coming out to go back to work at like 7:30 in the morning. In the evening, it's one of them stations that I know is pretty quiet. So we'll see what it throws up. One guy and one female. Okay. We're up to the time on that, so we'll go back, just have another look at them individuals. Okay. So what I'll do now is obviously I'll look at another day and another time, and hopefully one of them two people will come up. If they do, then I'll know that is the person. Right, let's pause that for a second. Now I know that female is not the individual I'm looking for because I haven't used the gate that I've identified that's been used. Okay. So, there we go. Now that female is the same female that came through on the other day. So now we know who we're looking for. We'll come here one morning, stop the female concerned and speak to her about her journey history and see what she's been doing. If the Transport for London decide to prosecute the individual, they go to court, if they get found guilty, they've got a conviction on their record, and that can have a major impact on like their future.
That one there, that one there. Show me that one in your hand.
In East Ham.
Excuse me. Right, hand that over now.
Enforcement Officer Peter is part of a pre-planned sting operation involving the police.
It can go really nuts. Imagine that one person touches and 20 go through behind, and you've got a hell of a lot of fraud which is going on.
Anyone suspected of fare evading must provide identification in order to be dealt with properly.
And you just come from Upton Park, you said, yeah?
Sorry?
You just come from Upton Park, you said, yeah? Could you write down for me your name, address and date of birth, please? And your address, please.
I don't know my address.
You don't know your address? Are you kidding me? Well, that's not good enough. You got to know where you live. You end up saying, I don't know where I live, right? You deal with the police, it's stupid. Just put down your address, man, come on.
I don't know my address, sir, oh my God.
Have you got anyone you can phone and ask your address? Come on, you're not helping me at all, are you? You're really not helping me at all. Officer, he's saying he doesn't know where he lives. It's not giving an address. Okay.
If I can't get details from you, I actually need to arrest you.
Come on. Police right there, bro. Tell them to go to CBS something, bro.
Peter's colleague Karen is also struggling to get someone's details.
Do you see an eye? Do you see an eye before N?
Because it's illegible. Which year is this, please?
So relax. So you are trying to bully me, basically.
I'm asking you what year you're born in.
Can you please process me? I need to go. All she's telling me is like, can you store the name and everything? And I'm like, bro, listen, I've wrote it down for you. She's like, it's not readable. I'm like, I can read it. I can read my own name.
Sorry, say that again for me?
Apparently he's just moved, so he doesn't know his address.
If I don't obtain a name and address, I will arrest you, and you'll end up having a criminal record.
He's put down his date of birth as 2003, which makes 16. He said he was 15, so he's lying about that.
You'll have to call your parents or an adult.
Coming up.
I don't think so, fella.
Undercover Inspector Scott.
That way there.
Collars a repeat fare evader.
Why'd you not pay today?
And Peter has a brainwave.
Here's an idea, and I know it's slightly radical and off the wall, right? Just buy a ticket.
Fare evasion is a reportable offence.
Enforcement officers Karen and Peter
Thank you. You get me? And that's what I'm trying to get at.
are both struggling to ID two suspected fare evaders.
Is that 90 or 96?
It's a 90.
It's a 90, yeah, that's the one.
I can't
See,
read that.
is that-
Honestly, I can't read that.
But that's it. Oh, if you can't read it, just ask me, big man. All right? There you go.
It's still calm, and it's all right. isn't it?
But, bro,
So sharp.
big man, I've tried to be as calm as possible.
I want to go home.
Hey, you wanna go home? Are you still all right? You get me up here and everything.
Sorry, can you write down your real date of birth, please? Please. All right, just do your real one.
Can I go?
No, I told you I need your address and date of birth, right? Give us a correct date of birth, man. Come on. You said you were 15 and you say you were born in January 2003. That makes you 16. Don't be silly.
16 and a half.
Right, put your real date of birth down. No, listen, put your real date of birth down or I'll leave you to these guys and I won't bother, all right? Simple. It's easy. No, listen, it's easy to deal with me, right? Put your real date of birth down. Otherwise, I'm walking away and these guys can deal with you. Simple. Then you'll be here for ages. Listen, I've got stuff to do, yeah? So do it. I'll tell you what, right? Do it or give me back the book. Do it or give me back the book.
That's 2004.
No, I'm sorry. I don't buy that at all. I'll tell you what. I'm not bothering with you. You can deal with them. Yeah. See you later. Let's see how ridiculous he is.
I didn't want to involve the police in something so small. But if you're going to scribble something that nobody can read and then not be forthcoming with details, it takes longer.
But you could have simply asked me instead of insisting of me writing my name down again. Okay, you already wasted my
As you're aware, you've got 21 days to pay your appeal. Yeah, they know.
Despite his best efforts, Peter couldn't get the young man who'd forgotten his address and date of birth to comply.
Excuse me, sir. The guy that just she's mad.
Sorry?
She's mad. The guy.
He's inside. I've stopped dealing with him now because he wasn't being honest with me. So I said, deal with the police. So he's now dealing with the police.
She's mad.
Yeah, but that's down.
Maybe his mother will be more helpful.
No, nobody should call you. He doesn't have a ticket. I spoke to him very politely, but now I'm talking to you and you're turning your head, so go ahead.
Maybe not.
So you think you've lost your oyster, yeah?
Here's an idea, and I know it's slightly radical and off the wall, right? Just buy a ticket. You know?
It's going to be a penalty fare notice.
Good old East End. You know, it's not the most financial area in London. You do get a lot of fare evasion, although to be quite honest, there are people that have got loads of money, they just don't want to pay.
Tube Enforcement Officer Scott is working in London's financial district.
Monday to Friday, it's just horrendously busy. A lot of professional people, even professional people, don't buy the right tickets for their journeys.
Salaries in the city are higher than anywhere else in the country, and over 1 million people come to work in the area.
People pay in excess of £6,000 for an annual travel card from where they live into London, and that's just literally from their home station to London terminals. That doesn't cover you for any journey on the Underground. Already getting a lot of footfall. This particular gate line is just all professional people, but they expect a lot more for some reason, and they believe that they have a right, that these barriers should be open and they should just be allowed to walk through. We stop these people, we physically check their tickets, and that, to them, is an inconvenience.
Scott has his eyes peeled.
Just touch on the radio for me, sir. Thank you.
Even for those who had no intent to avoid paying their fare.
What's tapping the other end?
Let's have a look, sir. OK, unfortunately, sir, today, because we're working here today, it's going to be dealt with by way of a penalty. All right, because you haven't validated your Oyster card before you travel. If you just come over for a moment.
You are having a laugh. Oh, dear. Do I look like a criminal? Given the amount of people that just follow people through and never pay, it's sort of kind of amazing, really, but I guess that's just what it is. Thank you very much.
If you show that to my colleague there, he'll open the gates for you. That was the typical response. Do I look like a criminal? No. You've made a mistake. Penalty fare.
Some people try to slip through the gates unnoticed.
I don't think so, fella. That way there. In you go. ID, please. Thank you. Why did you not pay today?
I lose my ticket.
You lose your ticket? OK. Well, I've seen the male do what we call double shuffling, so he's gone through behind a fare-paying customer. His intention was to avoid paying for that journey. The fact that he tried to run away just indicates that he knew what he was doing. Thank you. Bye-bye. And you've been stopped before?
What?
Been stopped before? Penalty fared? Last year?
Don't remember.
OK.
As a repeat offender, he may now be prosecuted and could end up in court.
OK.
And my penalty or no penalty?
No, you don't get penalty. You've been reported.
When?
You'll get a letter in the post from London Underground, OK? He has had a previous penalty fare, so it just justifies my actions as well, just a little bit more.
In northwest London, James is about to attempt to stop on a passenger he suspects of avoiding £25 of her fare each week for months.
Just gone 6:30. Hopefully the young lady we need to speak to should be on her way. So wait until she turns up and stop her and see what she's got to say. See upstairs, Sue's coming down. Get a bit more time to see the person. Obviously when they go through, it's a bit harder to stop them on the public side. Whereas on the paid side, it's a bit easier to stop them.
He's joined by fellow investigators, Olga and Lawrence.
She touched in again here last night at 9 o'clock. It was about normal. When she does that, she normally comes back here again about 7 o'clock the next morning.
Now.
Could be. Not the first one. In the blue, you mean?
In the blue.
Could be.
Let me stand on the outside.
Oh. Will you see your parcel from the place? Thanks very much. Right. That's fine. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Catch up.
It's not the woman he's after. There's a chance they could be too early.
And there's been odd occasions where she doesn't come through till like 1 o'clock. Lunchtime.
Her journey records show she may travel at different times of the day.
We'll have a look on the live database and see if she's travelled at all. You're right, keep an eye for a minute, eh? Yeah? You keep an eye in case she comes through. Yeah. Maybe she's not travelled today and we don't know yet until we see. The worst scenario that you can get is you log on and find that the card's being used here. That's the worst scenario, because then you're like, we've missed the person or someone else was using the card. Card hasn't been used, so she hasn't travelled at all this morning. She might be working some mornings, some evenings. There's been some occasions where she's come out at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Nah, hasn't travelled at all, so.
It's a disappointing result for James, but he won't be giving up.
On average, it's like 2 visits per time to catch the person you're looking for. She will turn up eventually.
On a bus near Peckham, Enforcement Officer Thomas
So just checking tickets, passes and Oyster cards, please.
is on the lookout for high-value passes.
Got the photo card?
Not only can they be used incorrectly, but counterfeiting is also a problem.
1 second. That should be in black. And how did you pay for this card?
Card.
With your bank card, yeah?
Oh, I think I paid by cash.
By cash?
Yeah.
It's just the way it's been printed, so it's slightly incorrect. Do you have any receipts at all?
21.
No.
Lewisham Shopping Centre.
Let me just take down some details then, sir.
Why don't all this? Show you everything. Show you my photo card. So what
Well,
about
I said, so this is, we're required to take some details. We need to do some further checks.
Check it on your something there. If
Thomas needs the passenger's details to help try and determine if the ticket is authentic.
Not going to provide the details then, sir?
That's all done. I'm done. Look, you're just creating unnecessary scene.
I'm actually trying to do this.
Unnecessary scene.
It's not unnecessary, sir.
I've shown you what you
So
need
as I
to
said,
see.
it'll be fine to
If you don't see anyone you can pick on, you don't pick on me. Yeah, you're just picking on me because you just want to show you are working. That's it.
Sir, the card is giving me a few issues. There's just a few telltale signs that made me believe it could be a counterfeit. Card hadn't been printed correctly. But the fact that he was unable to provide any receipts where he purchased this card, the fact that he told me the card was purchased with cash when it was purchased by a card, stuff like that, made me just slightly suspicious regarding that specific card and a few others he had in his possession. Thank you very much, Drive.
At Transport for London's control centre, a sophisticated intelligence system has flagged suspicious usage of an Oyster card registered to a female passenger.
This person's Oyster card is loaded with the zones 1 and 2 travel card. That's what has been paid for. If, as is suspected, the journey's been made from zone 5 to zone 1, then that hasn't got validity and that additional fare isn't being paid. It's been flagged up on the system because it's happening on a repetitive basis, a daily basis, pretty much.
The man given the task of stopping this serial fare evader is undercover investigator Dan.
It's registered to a female going back to July 2018. We've got over £1,000 worth of fare evasion. And this shows us exactly where the Oyster card's being used, the day, the date, the time, buses, and it can even show us what ticket gates customers are travelling through. Exiting Southwark in the morning at 6:43, Southwark at 6:40. So she's very consistent in her time that she exits Southwark. So definitely looking at this, it's going to be Southwark that we go to for the CCTV.
Dan's joined by colleague Ifa. First, they need to try and ID the woman.
Right, let's see if we can identify this person. 45, 46, it's going to be this gate here. There we go, there's a female, no, not that one. Okay, so that's 6:50 now. There's no female coming through gate number 46 in that 1 minute slot. If we go back and watch that again. So that's 6:49:02. It would indicate that we've sort of gone up a little bit of a garden path thinking that the Oyster card's being used by a female.
Dan will need to find another way to ID the suspect, or else this fare evader's costly blag could continue. Coming up.
No, you don't need to touch out.
Things get heated on the tube.
There you go. It's touched out now, but you've now been charged as well.
And Dan...
It's now 06:39.
...lays it on the line.
So the situation's quite serious. 79 journeys where you've not paid the full fare.
344. 344.
It's rush hour in the heart of the city.
Paper tickets only this way, please. Paper tickets only.
Eagle-eyed Enforcement Officer Scott is trying to spot fare evaders amongst the crowds.
Just touch on the river. It is so busy. Trains on the Waterloo City line come into the station approximately every 90 seconds. A lot of them that come through, they know that the tickets that they've got won't necessarily be valid. We do get the odd comment, maybe a little bit offensive. They may call us jobs worse. You know, that's fine. I can live with that. I'm here to do a job. Let's see a ticket, please. You haven't got a ticket, I'm going to do it by way of a penalty. All right. Do you have some identification on you, sir? When we come here, we will always get 10, 15 upwards penalty fares. Why didn't you use it then, fella? Sorry? Why didn't you use it to come out? Oh, there. See a ticket, please. Do you want to come back through because you've not touched out properly? Just go through for me. Okay, is there any reason why you didn't touch out? Okay, I'll show you now, okay?
I did touch out.
Madam.
Yeah, but I did.
Madam.
Maybe it didn't. I've had this problem.
Madam, you touched in today at 7:56. Madam, okay?
So how did it open the door and let me through?
It didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Madam, it didn't.
Have you got cameras? I just
I
touched
don't.
her.
Yeah, it's not been used, madam. It's been used to enter. Okay. Okay. Yeah, for zones 2 and 3 only.
The passenger is travelling outside the zones her annual pass permits.
Because it's not been touched out, okay, what I'm going to do today is deal with it by way of a penalty and give you 21 days in which for you to either appeal that penalty or pay the penalty, okay? You have for zones 2 and 3 only.
Yeah, but I've got money on it.
Yes, but it only gets charged. You only get charged if you're using your card correctly. Go online, do the appeal. That's your reference number. Okay, I just need to advise you. You don't need to touch out. You don't need to touch out, madam. No, you don't need to touch out. No, you don't need to touch out. I'll touch you out. You don't need to because you've been penalty fared.
Can I see for myself?
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Please, can I see for myself?
But the penalty fare has been issued and the time will be different. You don't need to see for yourself, madam. I've told you that. I'm telling you, you don't need to touch out because you've been issued a penalty fare based on your journey. If you wish to touch out, you wish to touch out. That's fine. No worries. There you go. It's touched out now, but you've now been charged as well for that as well. The lady's come through the wide aisle gate. She's motioned to touch out, but from what I saw, the lady hadn't touched out. And when I've checked the ticket with the inspecting device, it's shown that the lady's touched in at East Ham, but hasn't touched out to complete a journey.
At Southwark Tube Station.
So we need to be looking back at the last 14 days.
Undercover investigators Dan and Ifer are on the hunt for a suspected serial fare evader using an Oyster card registered to a female.
All right.
But the CCTV doesn't match with their info.
May not be being used by a woman because they often get transferred between family members. We'll have a look on a different day and see if we can see any of the people that we saw before. There he is again. There. It's the same guy. Yeah. He's wearing the same trousers. So, yeah, that's good. It's a result. Now we know who we're looking for.
With a male suspect identified, Dan and Ifer will now return in the morning and attempt to stop him.
With a sort of 5-minute window There's probably 2 trains. I'm hoping the footfall through the station is not going to be too great. It can be like finding a needle in a haystack, especially at a big station like this during peak. Just do a radio check for me.
Whether you
If you think you're going to get a good eyeball on that monitor there, or you can do it through here, choice is yours. I just need you to have the longest sighting time.
Yeah, I'll do it here then.
Right, I'll wait for your call. There's a lot of preparation that's gone into this case. This is when it really heats up. Just expectation level rises. It's now 6:35. I'm just checking to see whether we've got that tap on at West Ham. I'm permanently using the search facility on here, and we've already got the bus boarding coming up. But at least we know that he's on the move. At least we know that he's using the system today. By my watch, it's now 06:39. So really, from any time from now, is keep your eyes peeled, please.
Yeah, I'm at the monitor now. I am noticing a lot of people coming up, probably down, which is but anyway, hopefully we'll stop it.
If you're finding that to be a bit of an issue looking at the monitor, then just look out the glass window, please. Obviously, what he doesn't know is...
Now, over.
Yeah, OK, if you make your way out, please. Yeah, that's it. Hello, revenue control. I need to have a chat with you about your usage of your Oyster card. OK, so if we can go into an office, please. OK, so we've been conducting an investigation, all right? So the situation's quite serious. Just this report only goes back to the 15th of April. Yes. We have 79 journeys where you've not paid the full fare.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and you admit that it's wrong to do that?
Yeah, I know it's wrong.
You know it's wrong. Can I ask you a question now? Just be as honest with me as you have been already, okay? On 23rd of January 2017, you start buying Zone 1 and 2. Be truthful with me. Are these all journeys that you've not paid the correct fare? Would you agree that?
Do you know roughly how much is all together, or...?
I'm going to do that now for you.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the total amount, £2,862.
Yes.
So, nearly £3,000. I'll let you out the station. It's good from a business perspective, we got the result, but you also think that he's a family man just trying to do the best by his family. And London is an expensive place to live and work. The flip side to that, of course, is that, you know, Transport for London's not a free service.
This is how much we've calculated.
Whose is this? That's my dad.
£2,862.
You put your real date of birth down, or I'll leave you to these guys and I won't bother.
And there's been odd occasions where she doesn't come through like 1 o'clock. £1:30, she got off the train. She's working all hours of the night and day, doing really long days, like 12, 13, 14-hour days at the lower end of the pay scales. I can sympathise with her. What do we do? The system's run on a basis that everyone pays the same.
Just
Just one call from scammers costs her everything. A Channel 5 original drama starring Sally Lindsay. Cold Call begins next Monday at 9. But next, when alcohol is involved, anyone of any age can be troublesome. New series Bouncers continues after the break.